Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to my channel. All right, before we get started, you know the drill. Please make sure you go to my website at letstalkdarling.com. Make sure you scroll on up to the top, subscribe to all my social media platforms, scroll on down to the bottom, put your email address in there so that we can stay in contact in case I get booted off of here. Also, please, please, please do not forget, most importantly, do not forget to make sure that you are subscribed to this channel. And if you are not subscribed to this channel, what are you doing with your life? Hit the subscribe button. Don't forget to like this video also before you exit out. Okay, so we are going to talk about something I didn't want to talk about. I didn't want to talk about it. I was like, this is so dumb. Nobody cares, but the internet cared. And it became like the one thing today that was just consuming my timeline, consuming my time. I also was getting caught up in it because when I first saw this story, I was really like dumbfounded and just something didn't add up to me. Okay. And I'll kind of explain why something didn't add up to me a little bit further into the video. I'm also going to show some video that I haven't seen out there that I found rather interesting. But let me first say this. Okay. I titled this video, "The Ghetto's Insurrection," for a reason. Okay. This, in my opinion, is what happens when the ghetto congregates in one place, okay, for a big event. Okay, this is what happens. Okay, now I'm not trying to talk down on people. I'm not trying to say that if you live in the ghetto, you're bad. I'm not trying to say that. Okay, however, the type of people that this type of music and these types of events attracts, okay, says all you need to know. I also want to point out that this is nothing new, okay? This is nothing new. We see this type of thing at every concert. There's always chaos at concerts, okay? I've been to a few concerts and you always see people passing out. You always see people getting in fights because people drink too much, or in these types of concerts, you know, they do party drugs and things like that, you know, to get into the music a little bit more or what have you, okay? But in addition to all that, pertaining to this particular artist, this is not the first time his concerts have created this type of hysteria, okay? And the reason why I want to point that out to you before we get into watching some of the video that I want to show you is that I think people need to wake up and realize that the media and the internet is telling you what to think, and they're telling you how to think and feel about it. Why do I say that? Well, the minute this came out, you started seeing a lot of videos from TikTokers and people who had claimed to be at this event. In fact, now they're labeling themselves, "I was a survivor of Astroworld," which I think is hilarious. Okay, I think it's hilarious because they're clearly just making these videos to get clout, whether they were there or not. Okay, they're clearly making these videos to get clout, to be dramatic. But all of them are kind of saying the same thing, right? That there was a huge crowd that stormed the stage, that people were very tightly packed in there, that people couldn't breathe. Some people saw people just drop dead to the ground. People couldn't get out because they were so tightly packed in there. And that Travis himself was doing nothing about it, right? Or that anybody there was doing anything about it. Okay, so they now have attributed the fact that, you know, the type of music that he's always played, right? The marketing and the propaganda behind the event itself with this, you know, stage that looked like it was, you know, a gateway to hell. The promotion for the concert said something to the effect of "see you on the other side," right? So people are putting all that stuff together, and then of course the people that are there are all of a sudden going, "I've never heard, you know, I've never felt the music like this. It just felt so dark and so demonic." And I'm like, aren't you a fan of his music? Because that's what it sounds like. I mean, I don't understand. Maybe it sounds different when you're in concert. Maybe, you know, the bass is a little bit more turned up than normal, so you're feeling it differently. Or maybe just the atmosphere combined with the music, combined with the Molly that you took, you know, brings that experience to you. I don't know. Okay. But before we get to, you know, like what actually happened at the event itself, when the concert started, I want to talk about why nobody's talking about before the concert started. Okay. Before the concert started, there was a very interesting video that I saw. I'm going to share my screen here so that we can take a look at it. I'm not going to have any audio with this because I want to be able to talk over it while we're watching it. But this is from another YouTuber called Tripping, and he made this video on his channel where